So hello, everybody, and thank you for coming to our 2024 Authors Hall induction. I'm Dr. Michael Cornelius. I'm professor of English, and in less than a month, I will be the dean of the School of Arts and Sciences. So I'd say I have 4 weeks left of freedom, but it started already like long ago. And I'm really thrilled that you folks are all here for our Authors Hall induction for 2024. The Wilson College Authors Hall is founded to celebrate the legacy of letters here at Wilson College. There's two components to it. First is the Authors Wall, which is where you can find the literary achievements of all Wilson College writers. And the second is the actual Hall of Fame, where we induct members of our Wilson community, which includes alums, but also faculty, staff, and board members who've made a real significant contribution to a life of letters as part of our college community and outside of it as well. So without further ado then, a few more things to say at the end, I'm going to turn this over to another member of our committee, Kelly Spees, who's going to introduce our inductee for today.
Thank you. Okay, so my name is Kelly and I'm one of the librarians here at Wilson. So when I arrived at Wilson in 2002, the library hadn't had a cataloger in over a year. So the director, she chose an empty spot on the shelves and placed all new and uncatalogued items there. Needless to say, I had enough work to keep me busy for quite a while. One of the perks of being a cataloger, and secretly one of the reasons why I chose it, is because you get to see the books before everybody else does. And so I would see so many books that I wanted to read. So I did what any librarian would do. I made a list. But with the cataloging process, children's books, when you catalog them, they're so short. So I would often read those right away as I was cataloging them. And one of the first children's books I cataloged was Ellen Yeomans' book, Lost and Found, Remembering a Sister. In this book, Miss Yeomans' description of the grief journey is so honest and authentic, and the experience of reading it was one that I've never forgotten. The fact that it was written by a former Wilson student made it even more special to me. In addition to Lost and Found, Miss Yeomans is the author of several other picture books, including Jubilee, The Other Ducks, and Some Snow Is, as well as a young adult novel, Rubber Houses. Another picture book entitled Tuck in My Truck is coming soon. Additionally, she occasionally serves as a ghostwriter for both children's and adult books. Miss Yeomans has taught writing courses at Onondaga Community College in Syracuse and is the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators Regional Advisor Emeritus for Upstate New York. She has a Master's of Fine Arts from Vermont College. An introduction for Miss Yeomans would not be complete without mentioning her philanthropic efforts to fight childhood cancer. Since 1997, the organization Paige's Butterfly Run, which was established to honor her daughter Paige, has raised over $5 million. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce children's book author Miss Ellen Yeomans, Wilson class of 1984, and the 2024 inductee into the Authors Hall of Fame. Thank you, Kelly.
Oh, I can see myself here. Yes. This is distracting. Hi, me. Oh, we're gonna have fun with this. Just try to keep me on task. I have notes. Thank you. It's wonderful to be back in Pennsylvania, back in Chambersburg, and most especially on the grounds of Wilson College. I want to thank Dr. Michael Cornelius and the members of the Wilson College Authors Wall and Authors Hall of Fame Committee for choosing me to be amongst the distinguished writers previously inducted. I am sincerely honored. My parents are here with me today, and I would like to thank them for going on this road trip with me. The one we took in September of 1980, when they drove me to Wilson College for the first time, and the one we recreated yesterday. You need to know my mother is fabulous at car snacks, and my dad is fantastic with facts, random facts. But now he's got a phone and he can just tell us things while we drive. So the drive we moved right along, even through the Route 81 construction. So yes, thanks, Mom and Dad. Besides being a writer, a ghostwriter, a university writing teacher, a farmhand, and I'm also an English teacher. I teach Czechs, Ukrainians, and Russians. I teach English, not right now, pretty much just Czechs because of what's going on in Ukraine. But besides all of that, I've been a part-time bookseller most of my life. I think I was 18, maybe, when I got my first job in a bookstore. A few years back, a grandmother came into the store and she was looking to buy a novel for her 9-year-old granddaughter. And the girl's family was going through a very difficult time and she just wanted a novel just for some distraction for this kid. And I suggested book after book to her. Maybe some of you are booksellers, maybe you've been a bookseller at any point in your life, but you can imagine as a bookseller, what we want to do is talk about books. What we want to do is suggest the books we love. And because I was writing for children and adults, but children's what I love the most, any bookstore I worked in, I was usually sent to the children's section to handle the customers there, which is what I wanted. So I read widely. I know children's books. I read as many as I can. And I was ready for this customer. And book after book I suggested, and she politely declined all of them. Too scary. No friendship trouble books. Absolutely no divorces. No bullies. No lost dogs. Nothing with an ill pet, an ill parent. No death. No disappointment. No bad feelings, she finally said. No problems. No such thing, I told her. What do you mean? She asked. A story where nothing bad happens is not a story. That's an anecdote. You know, I wanted strawberries. I drove to the store and I bought strawberries. I came home with the strawberries. That's not a story. I waved to the whole wall of middle grade novels. And I told her, you won't find anything like that here. A story must have tension. Something that makes you wonder what's going to happen next, how it will all turn out. That means there has to be a problem. There must be something to overcome. Children's problems and children's worries are real. They're not smaller than our problems. They are the same size as our problems. They are the biggest part of their world. A 5th grader who does not know their multiplication facts has an everyday problem. They have something to worry about every single day. The worry that they're going to be called on, the worry that they're going to fail miserably, the worry that they're going to be taunted, and they will feel awful for the day. And then that will be tomorrow because this was just Monday, right? That's the same thing as thinking, I've got to get those taxes done. And I should have gotten all of this ready before this. It's the same intense feeling. Worry about an old beloved dog. Worry about a best friend who may have found another. Those are real issues. They're not smaller problems. People who write for children and young adults don't set out to teach readers what to do about these problems. Instead, we show them another who has gone through something similar, and we hold out hope for the reader that they too will get through whatever comes their way. Sometimes readers find the exact book their heart needs at the exact moment they need it, and that is fantastic. But more often, more likely, more advantageously, they find a book or books weeks, months, years before they need them, before they're living a similar situation. And that story, or many stories, has then had time to percolate somewhere deep in their memory, deep in their brain. Experiencing challenging situations by proxy in books can be like riding a bike with training wheels. It can be like operating a flight simulator. It can be like acting in a play. They've somehow, somewhere, seen this kind of situation before. They've almost lived it. And they know it is survivable. A reader is primed to be a better sibling, a more understanding classmate, a kinder friend, because they've experienced a larger life. Books like Little Women, Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, Because of Winn-Dixie, Where the Wild Things Are, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, Charlotte's Web, are examples of some books which may have been that window to a larger world for many of us in this room. Kids who have been kept too safe are not safe. There will always be people who want to protect children from anything bad in books, and they often have the best of intentions. This grandmother just wanted to cushion her granddaughter's life just a little bit. Ultimately, this grandmother was also trying to protect herself from the realities of her life, her grief over what her family's life should have been. She had a good cry. I've always kept tissues nearby. She walked away with How to Steal a Dog by Barbara O'Connor. I love that book. It's a tender story of a creative girl who's going through incredibly challenging times. So while I occasionally write for adults, I'd prefer to write for children, for readers who are newer to this world, who come with limited experience, but limitless curiosity, who might experience their first heartbreak between the pages of a book, maybe one of my own, and then have a little storehouse of resilience before real life heartbreak comes to call. I'm going to share a couple of poems from one of my novels. This is a novel written in verse form, and the main character is a teenager whose younger brother, a baseball playing little kid brother, has just been diagnosed with a serious illness. It's one of my earlier books, so. The whole story is told in individual poems, the novel. Did put sticky notes in, so look how good we are. Oh, first sticky note is the one we want. Apprehension. Again, our main character, the voice here is 17. She might be 16. It was a while ago that I wrote this. 16, 17. This was the summer Callie and I were going to fly, gas up my car, day trip our way across the state, or at least as far as our paychecks could take us and our parents would allow us. We were both going to get good jobs with weekends off, cute guys all around, maybe at the village pool or Parks and Rec, plenty of raise, plenty of pay, plenty of play. We would have made memories, we would have made secrets, we would have made coded references beneath our senior pictures on our yearbook page. This was the summer Callie and I were going to fly. Over the plate. Mom pulls out a chair for me at the kitchen table. Kit, I'm worried about you, how all this is affecting you. I think we should talk. I do not want to get into this with her. Mom, I have to study for finals, and I'm supposed to catch up with Callie. And Mom eyes me like one of her projects and pushes a plate of ginger snaps my way. Sweetie, this must be stressful for you too. You can talk to me. But we never talk about anything trickier than schedules and schoolwork. How are we going to talk about life and death? We need to have practiced just getting the ball over the plate before we can handle anything low and inside. And then the last one from this is Those Girls. this point in the novel, her little brother has died. Those girls, we are not friends. They've just taken an interest in me, looking for a fix. Don't I recognize this? I know this little group, Ashley, Brittany, Courtney, Jennifer. I remember them well. Back in 6th grade and our middle school dance, all of us thinking we were so grown up, so high school. They were the ones forever running in and out of the girls' bathroom, laughing, crying, craving catastrophe. Brittany likes Danny, but oh, he likes Ashley. Oh my God. The stars of their own dramas, creating tragedy. Now they want a little bit of me to reflect my sorrow, to absorb the attention they believe is around here somewhere. But I'm not supplying whatever it is they're buying. These drama addicts better move along. So that is Rubber Houses, and that's a teen novel. I'm going to read a little bit of Jubilee. I do want you to know, I don't just write about sad things. I have some funny books about ridiculous ducks and about snow and trucks and all sorts of things. The ones I've brought for us today are on the more tender side. This is Jubilee. And this is a picture book that kind of goes against what I said. This is not a novel. But there's still not quite a story. It's a picture book and it's almost a bit of a list. It is about a reunion. It is about maybe a family picnic. It also happens to be my vision of what heaven is like. Take off the cover because I'm not an elementary school teacher who knows how to do this. I'm going to show you the pictures after I've read it, and then I'll flip it. Again, not a librarian. I wasn't trained in how to do this. Take back roads and backwoods and wander on down. Over roots, under branches and vines, on the path through the brambles and out into sun. Already before you, Jubilee. They'll hug them, they'll holler, they'll backslap and joke, the old and the young and brand new. They'll be loud and excited. They've waited so long, all glad to be gathered. Jubilee. They'll have corn on the cob and barbecue. They'll have salt potatoes and clams. So much for so many, piled high as your eye, all ready for tasting. Jubilee. They'll have soda pop, cold and fizzy, and ice cream to be churned. There'll be peaches, sweet cherries, biscuits, pies, and oh, those berries. Jubilee. They'll have horseshoes and hay rides and games of all kinds. It's kids against grown-ups. It's baseballs, pop fly. They'll have potato sack races and wide open spaces. All get ready, get set, Jubilee. With shouting and singing, they'll all harmonize. They'll warble, they'll call and tease. With fiddles and harps and banjos and spoons, all playing along, Jubilee. They'll two-step and shuffle, they'll clog and they'll jig, everyone together, little and big, swinging each other, do-si-doing around, all moving, all swaying, Jubilee. They've saved you an ice cream. They've saved you a dance. They say there's room for more. So call them all cousin when you come on along. All joy is to be. Double page spread. Jubilee. Thank you very much. Okay.
Now we get to the official part. Let it be known on this date of May 31st, 2024, Wilson College celebrates the life of letters lived by Ellen Yeomans, class of 1984, and certifies that henceforth Ellen Yeomans will be forever honored as a member of the Wilson College Authors Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. It's lovely. Oh, wow. Yes,
Oh.
I would love that. Thank you.
This is the spontaneous part.
Thank you.
You may be wondering where actually is the Wilson College Authors Hall of Fame. It is located one floor up in the library, where if Ellen goes or any of you folks go after the Nancy Drew talk, you can actually see Ellen's name has been put up there with the rest of the inductees, and it's also right next to the author's wall, so you can peruse a whole bunch, 100+ years history of Wilson College authorship. So we encourage you folks to take time while you're here for a reunion to go visit the author's wall and the author's hall. And if you are a Wilson College author and you have a book that you've published or anything like that, or if you've got someone you know who's a Wilson College author, please send your work in for the author's wall. We're always looking to add more and expand more so that we can show the students we have today the amazing legacy of letters from this incredible institution and those folks who passed through her doors. So thank you all very much. Congratulations again, Ellen.